Take your dealership to the next level with over 6,800 on-air interviews with dealer and industry leaders. CBT News, dealers' most trusted source for news, content, and analysis. Welcome to CBT News with Cheyenne Malone.
Hey there, hope you're having a terrific Tuesday. I'm Cheyenne Malone. Welcome back to CBT News. Let's get started.
The United Auto Workers' 1,600 employees at Ultium Cells battery plant in Lordstown, Ohio, voted overwhelmingly in favor of a new contract with 98% approval. Effective June 17, 2024 through April 30, 2028, the contract includes a 30% wage increase over 3 years and a $3,000 ratification bonus. It also enhances health and safety benefits with the addition of 4 full-time union health and safety representatives, an on-site industrial hygienist, and 70 minutes of relief time per shift. The contract marks a historic milestone as the U.S.'s first unionized battery manufacturing agreement, providing unprecedented benefits and job security for workers. Toyota and local utility Pepco have partnered to research vehicle-to-grid technology using the Toyota BZ4X battery electric vehicle. This collaboration explores bidirectional power flow, allowing BEV owners to charge their vehicle's battery and send power back to the energy grid, enhancing energy reliability, integrating renewables, and potentially reducing electricity costs. The study, conducted at Pepco's Watershed Sustainability Center in Montgomery County, Maryland, will focus on EV owners' charging habits and vehicle usage. This initiative is part of Toyota's broader plan to expand its BEV offerings, aiming to produce 3.5 million BEVs annually by 2030. The California-based EV startup Fisker has filed for bankruptcy a year after launching its first EV model, the Ocean SUV. This marks the second bankruptcy for ventures by car designer Henrik Fisker. The company struggled with financial and operational challenges, burning through over $1 billion in cash reserves, defaulting on debt agreements, and facing production and quality issues. Despite attempts to switch sales strategies, Fisker was left with thousands of unsold vehicles. This downfall highlights the difficulties faced by young EV companies trying to emulate Tesla's success in a cooling EV market. As the U.S. braces for a heat wave with the National Weather Service warning of dangerously high temperatures in the Midwest and Northeast, Recurrent's new study reveals how extreme heat impacts EV range. The study, quote, Summer and Hot Weather on Electric Car Range, analyzed data from over 7,500 EVs, finding that while temperatures below 90 degrees Fahrenheit cause minimal range loss of 2 to 5%, extreme heat above 95 degrees Fahrenheit can reduce range by 20 to 30%. Due to robust thermal magnet systems, EVs can handle heat well, but they face challenges if left with a low battery charge or parked in direct sun for extended periods. Using air conditioning minimally impacts range, especially if the car is pre-cooled while charging. The study underscores the importance of maintaining EVs in optimal conditions and highlights the role of EVs in combating climate change. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back with Tom Maioli, President and CEO of Celebrity Motorcar, to share his thoughts on what we're seeing in the market and economy today.
In building the company along the way, did you ever say to them, hey, maybe enough is enough, maybe the group's big enough?
Are there a certain, order that you should put your processes in to be successful?
When it comes to the future of F&I, where do you think it's headed? I mean, where are you placing your bets?
If EVs are not selling as much as we'd like them to on the new car side, why do we think they'll sell on the used car side?
Has the amount of diverse leadership, especially at the top, changed since when you first started? What do you say to others that maybe aspire or have an interest of getting in the auto industry?
I have so much to download to my team, to my clients, and to, of course, those who follow.
But last year's UAW victory may be short-lived and have unintended consequences.
CBT News, dealers' most trusted source for news, content, and analysis.
I figure you're just the guy to talk to about elections, because I know that you are close to the former President Trump. He's going through a lot of stuff right now, but
He's leading in the polls. There's not a poll out there, I don't think, and I probably should have checked this before I made this comment, but he's leading in many, many states, many of the battleground states. It looks like he's picking up a lot of momentum over Joe Biden. What kind of implications would this have if he wins the Oval Office again?
Well, listen, he has to win the way I see it. I mean, yes, he's leading in the polls, but we need him in there. The automotive industry is under siege with this whole Biden, demand to go to EVs by 2033, and consumers not buying into it. The charging stations are not out there. Look at what's going on with Tesla, down 37.5% year to date, and they just laid off 10% of their workforce. Yep. Would you ever believe that Tesla would have a layoff? I mean, you see what's going on in the EV world, and Biden just keeps standing up there smiling and pushing it forward. I think if Trump gets in, his first thing he said he's going to do is get rid of this mandate. It's ridiculous. Right. He's going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to be back to business as usual. EVs will be a part of the market, but they'll evolve. And listen, I think he's going to come back with tariffs strong. I think he's going to do exactly what he did before, and he's going to come back with tariffs strong. We're going to block China from bringing in these cheap electric cars into our country and flooding the market. And I think, listen, if he gets in office, he's the only president in my lifetime that I've ever seen have fights with the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates. And they should be having fights. They need to move. Interest rates move the market, and they move the economy, and they move businesses.
Sure. As you know, the Fed, recently came out and said, "Hey, we're still not there yet. It looks like if we lower the interest rate, it's only going to boost that inflation back up again, which we don't want to happen." Would you be a proponent of them dropping rates right now?
I have to tell you, Jim. It's interesting because I was on Fox News over a year ago, and I called for this when they started raising interest rates, and we came out of this inflation. We were in this inflationary environment, and I said, I called it. What they're going to do is they're going to continue to just push inflation higher, because what happens is you increase interest rates, you slow down the demand, and historically, what happens is that when you slow down demand, the pricing comes back down to level because people are chasing to get their volume back. We're past that. COVID changed the world. And when COVID hit and the supply chain got crunched, there is no longer chasing volume. And I'm not saying it will never come back, but that's not the market we're in today. What we're looking at is we're still in a supply chain crunch. Yes, it's opened up, but it's still in a supply chain crunch. And every time they raise interest rates and they lower volumes, whether it be construction, whether it be housing, it doesn't really matter. Prices, what they're doing is they're forcing the vendor to push their prices up because they need to maintain their margins. Yeah. Historically, on the opposite effect, I think if they start lowering the interest rates, what you're going to do is you're going to raise the volume and in car sales and housing and construction, and then you're going to have people like car dealers, contractors that are going to be chasing that volume, and as they're chasing that volume, the prices will come back down or they'll stabilize. I think they're looking at this thing entirely wrong. I think they need to lower interest rates. They need to get the volume going, and once volume goes, then people start chasing that, and when they start chasing that volume, they start eroding their profits.
And you can watch our programming wherever, whenever. I'm Cheyenne Malone. Thanks so much for watching. You have a good one.
CBT News, your #1 resource for auto industry news and content.